chapter 17. This one is also packed of a lot of goodies. So let's jump in, because 1, 2, and 3, literally we would read 1, ooh. We read 2, ooh. We read 3, ooh. So, here we go. Jesus said to his disciples, "Things that cause people to stumble are bound to come, but woe to anyone through whom they come." So, yes, life's gonna happen, and we're gonna have temptations and trials and tribulations, but woe to the person who they come through. So, like, if you're the person that causes somebody else to stumble, like, woe to you. Says, "It would be better for them to be thrown into the sea with a millstone tied around their neck." Okay, so, like, you know, one of those, think a cement block, essentially, maybe. So you're gonna sink. As soon as you get thrown into the sea, you're gonna sink. There's no chance of survival, right? So it'd be better if you had no chance of survival. Then it says, better for them to be thrown into the sea with millstone tied around their neck than to cause one of these little ones to stumble. Little ones, is it talking about like young in age or young in spiritual age? Don't necessarily know, but I think it can apply to both. Of like, if you're gonna cause somebody to stumble, no matter where, like, oaf. Just oaf. Like, dear Lord, please don't let anything I do be something that could cause somebody else to stumble. Like, think about Paul when he talks about, like, you know, like, don't do these things because it triggers other people. So we don't want to trigger our brothers and sisters into something that could cause them to fall or stumble. And that's part of, like, being in this community, is we're here to uphold everybody. So if it's not a problem for me, but it's a problem for you, like, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna make it a problem for you. I'm gonna help you out the best that I can. So that may mean, like, I don't do these things. But we keep going. Verse 3. So watch yourselves. That is a verse. So watch yourselves. So, I mean, I guess you can use that. The Bible says you need to watch yourself. But make sure you use it in context. Don't take it out of context. Use it in context of watch yourself in the sense that you're not causing other people to stumble in their walk with Jesus. We're going to go 7 to 10. It's kind of chunky. It's a teaching Jesus is giving. "Suppose one of you has a servant plowing or looking after the sheep. Will he say to the servant when he comes in from the field, 'Come along now and sit down to eat'? Won't he rather say, 'Prepare my supper, get your stuff ready, and wait on me while I eat and drink. After that, then you can eat and drink'? Will he thank the servant because he did what he was told to do? So you also, when you have done everything you were told to do, should say, 'We are unworthy servants. We have only done our duty.'" This is interesting because kind of one of the things we talked about is, like, be careful of spiritual pride. And I think that's something, like, we kind of referenced in one of the chapters before, but, like, yeah, don't get prideful in, like, what you're doing for God. Like, this is how the kingdom works. This is, like, our role in it. It talks about, one of the versions talks about, like, literally it says, we have only done our duty. This is our duty to God. Something else that stood out to us is when Jesus heals the men with leprosy. And so he's traveling. It says there's 10 men that had leprosy that met him. Leprosy is a skin disease that it's literally like eat your skin and then, like, you start losing body parts, and it's, you can Google it. It's gross. They had to be, like, distanced from people because it's contagious. So anyway, so they come up to Jesus, they distance themselves, but they cry, "Jesus, have pity on us." So Jesus says, "Go, show yourselves to the priest." They went and they were cleansed, so they're healed, okay? And then it says in verse 15, "One of them, when he saw he was healed, came back praising God in a loud voice. He threw himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him, and he was a Samaritan." Now remember, there's, like, racism and cultural division between Samaritans and Jews at that time, so it's, like, a big deal that the Samaritan comes back, and it's a big deal that it's noted that it's the Samaritan, not the others, because the others could have been Jews, we don't know. Doesn't say. Jesus asked him, "Were not all 10 cleansed? Where are the other 9? Has no one returned to give praise to God except this foreigner?" He said to him, "Rise and go. Your faith has made you well." Again, back to that theme of your faith has made you well. Your faith has healed you. We've seen that a lot in Luke up until this point. And it's just interesting. I think it points out the power of gratitude and thankfulness. And we ask God, "God, do this. Can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this?" Well, then he does it. Then do we thank him after he does something? Like, when we ask God to do things and then he does it, we're like, "Okay, God did it." But, like, do we sit and give him the acknowledgement that he deserves? Like, or do we just go about our merry way? We also see in this chapter another Son of Man quote, because we know that's a theme we've been tracking with. So Luke 17:24 says, "For the Son of Man in his day will be like the lightning, which flashes and lights up the sky from one end to another." So just add that to the list. He will be like lightning that flashes the sky and lights from one end to the other. Lightning's something that's very interesting. But then you go into verse 25. But first, he must suffer many things and be rejected by this generation. Oh, like this generation. He's telling them, once again, the Son of Man is here and present. Remember, Jesus, it's him. He's going to be rejected by this generation. Like, he's not rejected by the leaders. He's not rejected by his family. He's not rejected by his people. He's rejected by the entire generation. That led some questions. Yeah. But we're not done with the Son of Man quotes. We get into verse 26. It says, "Just as it was in the days of Noah, so also will it be in the days of the Son of Man." Again, this is like one of the ones where it's like the Son of Man context comes before the title Son of Man. So the context is the days of Noah. What were the days of Noah? Well, let's read 27. "People were eating, drinking, marrying, and being given in marriage up until the day Noah entered the ark. Then the flood came and destroyed them all." Like, they just were oblivious. Noah had been building an ark for like 100 years and they didn't pay attention. And then we keep reading. "So it was the same time of Lot. People were eating and drinking, buying and selling, planting and building. But the day Lot left Sodom, fire and sulfur rained down from the heaven and destroyed them all." Which leads us back into verse 30, which is one of our other Son of Man quotes. "It will be just like this on the day the Son of Man is revealed." So the Son of Man is revealed. Okay, so life is happening, and then something intense and traumatic happens and changes the world. Well, in the case of Noah, the world was actually like completely changed. In the days of Lot, those cities were destroyed, and that changed the context for a lot of people in a lot of different ways. You can read about both Noah and Lot in Genesis. And this is like interesting, kind of, we're seeing the theme continue. It says, "Remember Lot's wife. Whoever tries to keep their life will lose it, and whoever loses their life will preserve it." Back to the whole counting the cost of discipleship. Like, what's more important? Your life? No. God. But because you deny yourself of your life, God comes in and there's more great and beautiful things that happen because of that. The context of Lot's wife, if you don't know, you can read about it in Genesis. They were told to leave the city and not look back. And they're leaving the city, and Lot's wife looks back. We don't know what she's looking back at. Is she wanting to see what's happening? She had one job. And it doesn't help that it's always the female, because like Adam and Eve, the one job. Okay, anyways. But the men, we're all imperfect. We're all equally imperfect. Don't even read too much into that. But she looked back. Was she looking to her past? Was she looking to the life that she had lived for so long? And like, God's like, there is going to be something. We're going to save you, but you can't go back. And so it's like that one last, I need to see it. And so it's like sometimes when we've been freed from things, or our life has been transformed by Jesus and we're walking into the freedom he has to offer, there's a sense of we want to go back. Think about in Exodus. Literally, God had done so much for them. They watched the 10 plagues. They walk across the sea. Like, there's a cloud of fire and pillar, and they're following, and they get manna and quail every day, and they're like, we want to go back to Egypt. At least we have pots and pans, and we could have this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, you want to go back to slavery? No, you just are looking at your past in rose-colored glasses, and it's more comfortable there because you already know how to live in that. You know how to live in sin, but do you know how to live in the righteousness of God? And how do you practice continuing to live in the righteousness of God and the time of God? Because that's what we're called to. Back to the whole, you can't have two masters. Love God or love money. You're going to love one or you're going to hate the other. It's all just building on top of each other. I mean, why would Jesus' teachings not all correlate? But it's fun when you read it consistently because you're watching how they all just line up. So then Jesus keeps talking after the context of Lot and Lot's wife, and it says, I tell you, that night 2 people will be in one bed and one will be taken and the other left. 2 women will be grinding grain together and one will be taken and the other left. And somebody says, where, Lord? And Jesus says, where there is a dead body, there the vultures will gather. I'm not entirely sure that's the question they were asking. Where, Lord? Are they asking where are they going? Are they asking where is this happening? Are they asking where? Like, in context? And Jesus' response, classic Jesus, doesn't answer the question the way we think he would. Jesus says, where there is a dead body, there the vultures will gather. So he gives them a location, and he gives them a scenario that goes along with his location. Sometimes we ask God things, and we ask Jesus things, and he doesn't answer the way we think he does. But he does give us the answer we need. So what does that mean they need in that time? Well, that's chapter 17 for you guys. Fun stuff definitely stood out to us. Again, we're just seeing this theme of what is our master? Who is the one we serve? What is the standard we live to? Just kind of building on each other from all of these last several chapters. So, what stands out to you?